Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Kai'Sa commentary guide, and now as you guys can obviously see from the title, this is probably one of the two matches I've played that I've had the most, or three matches that I've played that I've had the most intense, unexpected ending. Now the other two is, one was a Ziggs video that I posted on this channel where we barely won the game because I was Ziggs and I could destroy towers quickly, and the other one was a video that I never posted on the channel, but it was a video where it was a base race between three enemies against our base and a Baranda Wukong versus a Renekton at the enemy's base, which the Wukong barely managed to win, and my base was at like 100 health or so. So this is like the third one in that list, not necessarily in the third position, but these are my top three. So anyways, here we're up against a Thresh and an Ezreal. Thresh obviously really aggressive, just flays me right toward them, and yeah, so thankfully Ezreal with Thresh, it is something very common that you see, but it is not the most aggressive combo, because when Thresh flays or hooks anybody, Ezreal, the most he can do is like WQ and auto, so it doesn't really do too much damage. Thresh whiffs the flay there, so we have to punish by just attacking him. I flash forward and auto attack to proc my passive and get the kill on the Thresh. So another further obstacle you will see in this match is that our jungler, who is the Evelynn, is not too competent at the jungle. Now she always goes in first instead of actually knowing how to play Evelynn, and just trying to get an assassination off, and therefore she's normally either dead at objective fights or she just dies in the objective fight so early that we have no chance to contest. So here Ezreal tries to be funny, tries to stop our back, so we're gonna punish him as well, proccing the passive and one more auto to kill. And here I'm getting chased by the Thresh. I'm 1 HP. Master Yi pulls up and I realize there's no chance of me living, so I just died. Not that I really had too much of a choice because my sums were down, so I died there. But yeah, this game will be a challenge. And Jax, he will be permanently split pushing. He won't be joining us in any objective fights or anything. He's just permanently split pushing. Not that that is necessarily a bad thing. As a matter of fact, I think that is sort of how Jax should be played. But I feel that Jax, when you play it in that way, which is the correct way to play Jax, you should take TP so you can at least try to join your team in fights. But basically, the other three members of the team, aside from me and Nanami, they're gonna be pretty much feeding the enemy team, like especially in terms of their KDA. So we'll all see that in the later part of the video. But here we're just gonna talk about the laning phase first. And here again, another flay by the Thresh. They get scared because Twisted Fate actually ulted, which is of course my mid laner, but he didn't actually show up at all. Alright, but as you guys know, I did release a tier list video a day or two ago, and I ranked Kai'Sa as the best ADC in my tier list. Now, I know after Kai'Sa's Q got nerfed and E got buffed, basically overall across like 2 patches and adjustments to Kai'Sa, no one really rates Kai'Sa too highly anymore. At least I don't see people saying that she is the best ADC from a lot of people. Really nice prediction hook by the Thresh, by the way. But I don't really see people saying she's the best anymore. In this video, I want to kind of try to demonstrate why I do still think that she is the best. Here we get another kill on the Ezreal, who overextends to try to kill me. Of course, the shield from my ult really useful. Here Nami bounces her ebb and flow off me onto the Thresh for us to secure our second kill. So really nicely played by the two of us. We are getting the best of the Thresh and the Ezreal, and we're doing pretty well. I'm 2-1-2 and Nami's 2-0-2, so we're really doing pretty fine at the moment. And matter of fact, the rest of our team aren't doing too badly as well. They do have a couple of deaths, but they're not like feeding or anything. They just died like once or twice to their opponents, which is not the end of the world. So here the dragon has spawned, and Evelynn is camping the mid lane bush, kind of waiting for something. So here, I got my evolve. I hit my entire evolve Q onto the Thresh as well as my Void Seeker, but Thresh runs away. So here, it kind of devolves into a team fight in the enemy jungle. I'm trying to stay safe in the backline and do damage, but Yasuo EQs onto me and ults. Nothing I can do there about that point and click from him except to space better and further away from him, but it was too late. So here, unfortunately, my entire team gets aced, inclusive of me and Nami, of course. Yeah, so my entire team just gets aced. And this pretty much gives the enemy team a free dragon. So here, I pretty much know that the dragon is gone. I'm just going to the bot lane to pick up the wave, which will be pushing into me very soon. But Evelynn sort of tries to show up, and obviously nothing too much comes of it. So I'm just gonna go back to my lane. Now you will see me make quite a few mistakes in this game as well, mainly because I kind of get baited by my team into kind of making bad decisions, sort of like that, where I clearly knew that the dragon was gone, but I still, you know, sort of tried to contest it, even though I knew it was gone. It could just because the Evelynn decided to do that, and you will see that a couple of times in this game. So all I can say is that, if you know you're doing what's right, you should do it, and you shouldn't like blindly listen to your team. Now, but the complicated situation about that is that sometimes what the team is doing may be wrong, but the fact that the whole team is doing it together can kind of make it right, for example. So that's sort of like a bit of a conundrum. Here, Ezreal severely underestimates my damage, and I have my Q evolve, whereas Ezreal doesn't even have a single item yet. So 1v1, I will definitely win against Ezreal. So there is definitely no issues there. Twisted Fate here, who has actually managed to pick up the Rift Herald, sets it down in the bot lane. This guarantees us the first turret of the game, which at least is something going for us. Rift Herald will secure the hit on the turret, so no point in me staying around. I'm just gonna start channeling recall and, you know, back off, because no way that's gonna get into second tier tower. Nami doesn't do the same and nearly gets caught by the Thresh. So small tip for you guys is that the Rift Herald will remove 2000 health on a first tier turret. So if the turret is under 2000 health, you can just instantly leave the Rift Herald to do its job. If you want to stay in the vicinity to get the goal, which I was still in the vicinity. So yeah, so here I ward the Tribush and realize Singed is coming down. Nami gets just chain CC, so she's gone. There's nothing I can do to save her, but Evelynn is kind of pulling up to the party, and I realize that there's no way we're defending this tower 2v4 with me and the Evelynn, so I'm just gonna give up the tower. No point defending the tower, because if we two went to defend, the most likely outcome was that both of us die and they still get the tower anyway. So best to cut your losses and just give them the tower. So here they try to pull off the same stunt in the mid lane, but the difference now is that they're in between two towers. So here there is actually a decent chance to get something out of it. Ezreal's the only one attacking the tower. I'm attacking him. Nami tries to CC the Thresh, but doesn't really work. Instead, I managed to kill the Singed, and I'm trying to kill the Yasuo, because here I pretty much did, but I'm trying to trade the kill before I die, and I do. So I get the double, and I die. Nami gets hooked again, and she gets killed under tower by the enemy bot lane. In the meantime, Jax is in the 1v1 versus Master Yi, and he managed to make it all the way to Inhibitor Tower. So as I said, Jax is basically perma split pushing this game. So here, problem is that, you know, Jax isn't really with us for other team fights, which I wouldn't really say is a problem because he is kind of doing his job by split pushing, but he is getting caught quite a bit. Something like this. He needs to know when to back off. So here, Jax on the run. Pretty much know where he can go. He can try to trade the kill onto the Thresh, but he does get hooked by the Thresh, which allows the Yasuo to ult over and get a free and easy kill. Alright, so here, nothing really much to do. I'm going to take the Krugs. Don't want to push out too far in terms of the bot lane, because I don't really know where the enemies are. Of course, on the replay, you can see that they are mostly at the top side, but here we have no vision of the enemy team, so we don't really know where they are. So here I'm gonna recall probably to get an item, the recurve bow. So here recurve bow gives me the E-evolve, and this allows me to have double evolution before contesting the second dragon, which is of course going to be helpful for me. Alright, so here I'm heading straight towards the dragon, and as I mentioned earlier, the Evelynn just straight up just dies before the dragon even spawns. So literally no point in contesting. It's basically a free dragon from the enemy team. In my downtime, no ways to farm that I can farm safely, so instead I'm going to take pretty much the entire bot side jungle. So here I take the Raptors as well. Singed kind of being really aggressive. I ult over to get the kill onto the Singed, which I do, but that leaves me in no man's land. I get hooked by the Thresh, flayed by the Thresh, and I flash out. Now, I do believe if I didn't get hooked and flayed, I do think I have a decent chance of just running away. Just straight up running away. Especially since I had flashed up. But since I got hooked and flayed, pretty much it was all over for me here. We're gonna look at a prime example of Evelynn doing Evelynn things. Evelynn, for some reason, decides that she wants to go all the way into the enemy jungle. Doesn't even know how Evelyn's charm works and instantly just uses her E. And Thresh flashes the Evelyn also, when Evelyn gets nothing. She's still lurking around, and I flash over back to myself, but here, as you can see, Evelyn gets destroyed by 4 people, and as a result, the enemy team get a free Rift Herald as well. So this is kind of the problem that I'm kind of faced with this Evelyn jungle. She's really feeding them at this point. She's 2-6-2. Our split pushing Jax is 2-6-3. Twisted Fate is 1-5-1. So at this point in the game, you can really see how badly they are feeding the enemy team. Here, enemy team makes a mistake of getting caught up in a choke point, gets 4-man Nami ulted, and I managed to pick up 2 kills. Here, we have the Master Yi, who pretty much just actually not the Master Yi, that was a Sin. No, that was Ezreal. What was I talking about? Ezreal, who manages to kill me after I killed 2. But thankfully, Evelyn finally does something good, which is to clean up the kill onto the Ezreal. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if Ezreal somehow killed Evelyn or escaped there, with, you know, the level of play that this Evelyn has been showing me so far in this game. But yeah, so it's a really tough match at the moment. We are at a 3k gold deficit at the moment now. Not the worst in the world, not like an insurmountable amount. Twisted Fate misses the blast cone and finds himself in a little bit of danger with the Thresh, but he'll be fine, he'll walk it out. And here I've respawned again. So here, as you guys can see, no real waves to farm. Top lane is pushed, mid lane is in the middle, so I'm gonna farm the wolves instead. Now here, looks like they want to be aggressive and invade our jungle. So here I'm just standing in the bush at it and kind of just waiting if they overcommit, but that does not happen. Instead, I'm just gonna take up the red buff. Now, 2 reasons for that. Firstly, my jungle is feeding, whereas I am not. Secondly, Evelyn doesn't really benefit from red buff as much as a AD damage dealer like a Kai'Sa, so that's what I'm gonna do. So here, my team kind of tries to defend the tower against like 4 people. They trade 1 for 1 so far, and here I find myself in the middle of 3 enemies. Now the singed pool actually kind of destroyed me. I managed to trade onto the Master Yi right before I die, which is at least something. But I had flash and I had ult. If I wasn't caught in the singed pool, I could have actually ulted and flashed and perhaps tried to kite it out or to run away, because I did have the Runaan's Hurricane at this point, so I might actually even have turned the fight. But unfortunately, the singed pool just kind of blocked whatever I wanted to do, so that really did not work out as intended. So yeah, it is what it is. So at this point in time, we are kind of getting destroyed. We lost our middle inhib tower, and all objectives are spawning again. We've lost both dragons and 1 Rift Herald. The only objective we got so far is 1 Rift Herald, and at this point in time, we are at a like nearly 10k gold deficit, somewhere around a 9k gold deficit at this point in time, which is pretty horrendous. I guess you could say. So here, I remember distinctly saying, because I was doing with the Nami, that I don't know why we're even trying to do the Mountain Dragon when we're so far behind. It's not worth to die for a Mountain Dragon. Here I ult and stasis, flash away, but Yasuo is in the vicinity because he managed to get off an ult. I die right at the beginning of the fight, and Jax is still split pushing. Of course, Nami dies as well here. And we're left with a split pushing Jax and a Twisted Fate, who is not long for this world. So there goes Twisted Fate. Jax actually manages to pick up the inhibitor, which is pretty much the only good thing to come out of this scenario. And here I was just saying that, you know, if Jax dies, we pretty much lose the game. But thankfully, the enemy team weren't the brightest bunch in the world, and the Thresh and Ezreal actually goes back and tries to actually participate in the death of the Jax instead of actually trying to straight up just end the game. As you can see, they have a wave in mid. Now, if they chose to do so, there is a decent chance they could have ended the game in mid. Now, me and Evelyn would have respawned before they could have ended the game, but I don't know if we could have stopped them from actually ending the game. So, I think we actually could have lost the game here, but we don't know what would happen in a what-if kind of scenario. So here, either way, we are at a solid 10k plus gold deficit, and the enemy team has Baron, so the situation is very dire. Now here, we all know that the enemy team is at the Baron area or recalling or somewhere topside, so I think it's safe to get the red buff. Now of course there are situations where it's completely not safe to get the red buff, where the enemy might be in the bot side area and you die for getting red buff. Now Evelyn, as usual, just straight up dies to the enemy team without really contributing anything. Here, Yasuo's on my tail, so I'm gonna have to walk away. Same goes for Singed. And now here is where everything changes. So Yasuo tries to go in for a tornado. He does hit it on Twisted Fate. Here, I kite away from the Singed, kiting away from the Singed, focusing the Singed, and we get the kill on the Singed. Master Yi comes onto me, and I ult over to the other side, get a double kill onto the Yasuo, barely kill the Master Yi with the help of the base tower, and I barely regen a little bit of health, get the kill on the Ezreal with our Quadra, and I get a pentakill right on the doors of defeat with my base full of the Baron minions. Now, Jax split pushing actually pays off for once in this game. No idea why Jax is split pushing now when literally 5 enemies are trying to end the game. Now, in this case, that was a horrible decision, but I buy myself a TP, as you guys can see, and I'm gonna TP over to where the Jax is to try to end the game. Now, Yasuo is only 4 seconds away from reviving, and we barely managed to end the game. And yeah, that was, yeah, as you guys know, you guys won't believe the ending to the game. I didn't believe the ending to the game. If you told me at a 10k gold deficit the ending to the game would be me getting a pentakill, TPing into enemy base and winning the game, I would never have believed you. As you guys can see, enemy team has 3 S ratings, but we still won the game. So anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys, and goodbye.